Part 217. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2161. These cultivators in Katie's sanctuary are not fools either. No one wants to be someone else's scapegoat. At this moment, each of them is talking like this, and they have already shown their own thoughts very clearly. That's what they say, and that's what they do. Show your heart with practical actions. More and more Katie's sanctuary practitioners directly evacuated from the battlefield, and then evacuated in all directions. And at this moment, few Katie's sanctuary cultivators are willing to continue to obey the orders of the Kaoj God Son. All-out attack, that's a joke. You drive these bastards. How dare you betray me? Asshole. All of them are assholes. What do you think you are? You actually violated my wishes. Kill. Kill without mercy. Katie's sanctuary Shenzu roared at the song, feeling that his majesty had been greatly challenged, and then swung the long sword in his hand, and started to slash and kill the surrounding Katie's sanctuary practitioners. But anyone who escapes will be killed in one fell swoop. Kaoj, the god son of Katie's sanctuary, and hundreds of confidants around him, completely launched a frenzied revenge. He thought he could deter everything with this iron-blooded method. In fact, since the beginning, this idea is very beautiful. I want to form a supervising team, and I want to inspire the fighting spirit of these practitioners around me. But this Katie's Sanyushenza Kaoj really overestimated himself. What about yourself? Do you really have no points in your heart? He doesn't have much prestige among these Katie's sanctuary practitioners. In other words, few people are willing to work hard for him. If we can kill monsters together and get the token of the school, we can get these substantial benefits, then we will fight on our own, and there is nothing wrong with it. But now they are sacrificing their lives for this selfish desire of Kaoj. How can they be willing? Escaping from nature is the first choice. When the Katie's sanctuary Shenza Kaoj launched a crazily revenge, these cultivators had more or less resentment on their faces. This god son Kaoj doesn't treat us as human beings at all. He. This guy's hypocrisy has been revealed a long time ago. He wants to enslave us, and wants us to find a school token for him, so that he can become a student of the inner school of Guangming Academy, and even enter the top 100 in the assessment. Shameless you. Spit. Brothers, this son of Kaoj is too shameless. Are we just waiting to die like this? Now we don't even have autonomy. We just want to run for our lives, but this guy led his henchmen to slaughter us. We were not swallowed by those monsters. We were not beheaded by the enemy. Instead, we died in the hands of our own people. It's too tyrannical. There is no way. Kill this thug. He wants to kill us, but it's not that easy. The big deal is to do it. There are so many of us, why are we afraid of hundreds of people? Grass. We have at least thousands of people here. Afraid of a hammer. Kill. A vigorous civil war has begun. The 6,000 or 7,000 practitioners in Katie's sanctuary turned their guns in an instant, and in an instant, Kaoj, the god son of Katie's sanctuary, was surrounded by hundreds of his confidants. Immediately launched Operation Thunder, killing them bit by bit. The scene once made the scalp tingle. But it looks so real. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 2162. Master, what should we do now? Galen waved the big sword in his hand, looking more or less depressed at the moment. Originally, he thought he would be able to rush forward to do a big fight, but he didn't expect it to turn out like this in the end. This was far different from what he expected. After the low heavy machine artillery corps and the Goth Sanctuary sharpshooter corps swept a wave, the practitioners of the Katie's Sanctuary themselves followed the civil strife. Seeing that everyone was about to collapse, and playing with the hammer, they felt their brains bursting out of nowhere. The emotions are so real. Now, watching a show. What a beautiful scene. Wait until they finish fighting on their own, we'll do it again. Fang Fan folded his arms around his chest, while talking, then shrugged and said. Everyone in the 100 Flowers Sanctuary standing aside at this moment was completely stunned. Fang Fan in their impression is a cultivator of the third-class sanctuary. Why are these cultivators under his command so powerful? Fairy Liuli subconsciously grabbed Fang Fan's sleeve, and the nervous look on her face was replaced by shock. The rapid change of the scene made it difficult for her to accept. This is too different from what she imagined. Didn't you say that you are from the third-class Jingtian Sanctuary? You lied to me. Fairy Liuli turned around and came to Fang Fan. While talking, she couldn't help showing an angry expression on her face at any time. This expression, this appearance, can only be said to be so cute that it bursts. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and then he said seriously, I'm really a cultivator of Qingtian Sanctuary. Is it necessary to deceive? Besides, why should I deceive you? What good does it do me? Purpose. Fang Fan was full of doubts, looking at the rather cute Liuli fairy, subconsciously wanted to rub the dog's head angrily, and finally held back. He was afraid that this time, the Liuli fairy would explode in an instant. Benefits? Purpose. Hee. How can I not know what you children of big families think? Isn't this your usual way of picking up girls? First pretend to be a weak person, then pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger, the hero will be a beautiful woman, and then cause the beautiful women to panic again and again. In this way, you can take advantage of the trend and embrace the beauty. Then play around for a few days, wait until you get disgusted, then abandon it, and then look for the next target. It goes back and forth, isn't it like this? Scumbag. While Liuli Fairy was talking, she immediately became angry. Fang Fan looked innocent. Is this little girl thinking a little too much? This scumbag has studied the routine quite thoroughly. I'm really not a scumbag. Besides, who am I scumbag? Scum you. Fang Fan's eyes sized Liuli Fairy around. She was really good looking, with that kind of ancient beauty, but is Fang Fan the kind of person who sees one and loves the other? Snort. Do you dare to say that you deliberately approached me not for my body? A man, can you be more straightforward? Aren't you just drawing on my body? Don't you scumbags just have these dirty thoughts? Fairy Liuli looked at Fang Fan with a serious face. Fang Fan was speechless. How could he answer this frankly? Are you playing this big now? Fang Fan inexplicably felt a sense of dizziness. This Liuli fairy looked cute, but she didn't expect to speak so directly. Fang Fan was really overwhelmed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2163. How? Nothing to say. I was just joking with you. You, don't worry about it. I don't care about your origin. I can feel you, what you mean to me. I've said it before, you're pursued, I promise. I am willing to stay with you for the rest of my life. Fairy Liuli suddenly changed her voice and began to express her affectionate confession again. As soon as this thought came out, Fang Fan was a little confused. At this moment, the melon seeds in the head are more or less shaking. Fang Fan could still feel the weight of it. Just wait a moment. Let me ask you first. Would you like to be my little slave girl? Fang Fan bit the bullet and asked. Although the current scene is a bit awkward, but but there must be procedures and processes that should be there. Fairy Liuli was a little stunned when she heard Fang Fan's question. What kind of thinking mode is this? Why does she seem a little incomprehensible? Did you hide some kind of trap inside? How good is this kind of thing? How good it is to talk about it outside? Even if you have that perverted hobby, you can't wait until it's just the two of us. I will satisfy you at that time. Fairy Liuli grabbed Fang Fan's arm, and while saying this, her complexion turned crimson in bursts, and the sound of her breathing was very vivid. In the end, because of embarrassment, he buried his head in Fang Fan's chest. Fang Fan took a deep breath, he was too embarrassed. If you plant flowers deliberately, the flowers will not bloom, but if you plant willows unintentionally, they will make shade. This is not his original real purpose. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air, and he was not used to being so serious all of a sudden. This is a close call. If you give up the task of the third female slave position, not only will you not be able to get the special buff bonus effect of the third female slave position, but you will also have to pay a certain price according to the relevant punishment. Fang Fan took a deep breath, it was really difficult at the moment. Now I just feel like my brain is bursting. Fang Fan's eyes flickered. Then he hugged Fairy Liuli silently, then lowered his head silently, whispering softly in her ear. So, my little Liuli is willing to be my little slave girl. For it. While Fang Fan was speaking, he inexplicably felt that he was embracing a soft existence, and his whole body and mind were boiling with the blood. This is derived from the most primitive impulse in every man's heart. When Fang Fan spoke, the corners of his mouth were still slightly windy. A breeze blew against Fairy Liuli's ears, causing her body and mind to tremble instantly, her eyes blurred. Obviously emotional. I would like to. Fairy Liuli was talking, and then her delicate body writhed in Fang Fan's arms, looking a little restless. Willing what? Willing to do. I didn't hear you clearly. Can my little Liuli be more specific? Fang Fan's lips silently touched Liuli Fairy's earlobe. The scene got out of control for a while. You are necrotic. Can you not say it? So embarrassing. There are so many people. Fairy Liuli lowered her head, and her complexion became more and more flushed. No, right now. Is my little Liuli unwilling to tell? Hey, it seems that my charm is not enough to make my little Liuli confide in her heart. Fang Fan is completely shameless now. In order to be able to open the card every day in the future. Fight for a happy life in the future. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2164. No. I said. I would like to. I am willing to be your little slave girl. Fairy Liuli took a deep breath, her whole body had become completely limp. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully completing the task, the third female slave position. Ding. Rewards are being distributed now, the third female slave position has been activated. The special effect of the third female slave position has been activated. Effect of number 3 female slave, automatically get a card that matches the level of the host every day, and get a card that is one level higher than the host every month. Note, it cannot be a blank card, a waste card. Everything has been settled. Fang Fan let out a breath of foul air silently, this wave is too difficult. Even the hue is betrayed. This wave after wave, the melon seeds of the head exploded. Fortunately, the results are good. Master, master. I am your little slave girl. Just when Fang Fan felt quite comfortable, Liuli Fairy in his arms suddenly started to murmur to himself, and her body temperature gradually rose. Fang Fan was stunned for an instant. This wave seems to be playing Dafa. Fang Fan glanced left and right, and found that everyone was quite self-conscious. Although all of them had gossip expressions on their faces, they were all turned towards other directions, which at least made Fang Fan less embarrassing. It's Bai Piao, who has been sighing in pain. Why? Sad. Another white and tender cabbage was kicked by a pig. How unfair the heavens are. Can't we distribute it reasonably? Pathetic. Deplorable. Bai Piao muttered and complained at the side. Fang Fan stared at him. It's really hard for me too, okay. I sell my hue, what am I for? Playing a lonely little Liulai, cough. Calm down. We're still on the battlefield. Fang Fan put his arms around Fairy Liulai and rubbed her face while talking. Ah. You, what are you doing? You are the worst. Fairy Liulai woke up suddenly, running away like a little rabbit. The little head hung low, and the whole person fell into a state of blank brain. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and the smile on his face was very real. The state that this little girl sometimes shows is really cute. In the distance, Katie Koch, who was caught in an anxious battle, saw Fang Fan and Fairy Liulai flirting, and immediately spit out a mouthful of old blood. He was beaten to death by his own people here. Fang Fan didn't have any injuries, but he was still picking up girls. How is the gap so big? Fang Fan is just a third-class sanctuary cultivator, but what about Chao Ji? He is the divine son of the second-class KD sanctuary of the Light Alliance Temple. Where is his status? Why should he suffer these treatments? Roll. Get out of here. Whoever stops me, I will destroy him. Let me attack Fang Fan. Kill Fang Fan. I will reward you a lot. What's the matter with you coming to attack me? Get out. Get out, all of you. Do you have to do this kind of thing that makes relatives hurt enemies and makes people happy? You all have become a joke. Katie Shenjio Shenza took a deep breath towards the song, and while talking, then followed polka and cursed. The whole person fell into a state of extreme discomfort. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2165. It's just that at this moment, no matter how much Katie Sanctuary Shenzakaoj yelled, the people around him just didn't evacuate, and even stared at him more and more sharply. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and a mocking look appeared on his face. It can only be said that this guy is indeed killing himself. This path is entirely his own choice. Brothers, don't listen to this bastard's nonsense. Of course he can say those nice things. He. In fact, to put it bluntly, doesn't he just want us to be cannon fodder? He said it so righteously. We have already see through. That's right, you shameless one. Take out the school tokens. We risked our lives to get those school tokens back. Hand them over. That's it. Hand over the school token. Hurry up. Inkwad. Are you still thinking about some crooked ideas in your heart? Still thinking about killing us? I've said it a long time ago, this person can't be trusted at all. Shameless. Convinced, this time I am completely convinced. Brothers, kill him. The practitioners in Katie's sanctuary spoke in a rhythmic way. The Katie sanctuary god who was trapped in the middle trembled her lips, her eyes full of despair. Why bother? I'm dead, you can't live either. Do you really think that Fang Fan will let you go? Let me tell you. No. There is absolutely no way I will let you go. If you don't want to die, get out of here. Go away. Kill. Kill them all. Asshole. Asshole to the extreme. I am the godson of the Temple of the Light Alliance in the sanctuary of Katie. How dare you block my way? Kill without mercy. Koch took a deep breath, and while talking, the state at the moment was like a madman. While speaking, he immediately launched a desperate charge. As for Fang Fan, standing in the distance, with Li Yulai Fairy in his arms, seemed quite comfortable. In fact, sometimes it's not bad to change your mood and watch other people's internal strife. Fang Fan smiled slightly, and there was a strange light in his eyes. The fight is still in progress. Fortunately, this KD Sanctuary Shenzakaoj is a 2-star sanctuary realm existence, and her vitality is quite tenacious. Brutally killed out of the layers of encirclement. Of course, the confidant guards who surrounded him were already dead. I rushed out. Ha ha ha, ah ha 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 ha. Who can fight me? Asshole. Asshole to the extreme. Fang Fan. Fang Fan. You caused all this. It's you. It's you who caused all this. This son of God will definitely be killed by you today. Fang Fan, go to hell. You are vulnerable in front of me. Heavenly blood sword. Sacrifice. Whoosh whoosh. Boundless blood energy gathered, and Chaogas who, the god son of KD Sanctuary, was completely soaked in blood. At this moment, with his roars, his whole body trembled. Above his head, a blood-colored longsword about 10 feet long loomed in front of everyone. At this moment, the blood sword is becoming more and more solid, as if it will launch a counter-attack at any time. What a powerful power of blood! This is the technique of using the body to feed the sword. At the critical moment, drain the blood from your body and deliver a fatal blow. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2166. Fairy Li Yulai was obviously quite knowledgeable, and while she was talking at the moment, there was an inexplicably frightened look in her eyes. The situation is taking a turn for the worse, so naturally don't slack off easily. If you are not careful, everything will collapse. Fang Fan, run, run. This Kaoj is desperate to sacrifice the blood sword, and he will definitely choose to die. He himself is a 2-star sanctuary practitioner, and now he is going all out to sacrifice the blood sword, and his combat power can even reach the 3-star sanctuary. He's coming for you, go away. Fairy Li Yulai's face was full of blood, and while she was talking, the look of horror in her eyes was vividly displayed. While speaking, he let out a roar. The situation is no longer within their control. At this moment, the only way to counterattack and take off is to hold on. Need not. Don't be so nervous. Caitlin, it's your turn. Fang Fan grabbed Fairy Li Yulai to keep her from getting too excited, and then said to Caitlin, who was holding a sniper rifle. I know the master. Caitlin showed a heroic look, then raised the sniper rifle with one hand, and then pulled the trigger naturally. Boom! The bullets passed through the barrel of the gun and gathered into a ball of flames and flew out directly, and then instantly wiped out the enemy in front of them. Everything is settled with the dust. Gives people a sense of tremor in consciousness. At this moment, Kaoj, the Shenzi of KD Sanctuary, was still maintaining an attacking posture, and the bloody giant sword hanging above his head seemed to freeze suddenly at this moment, staying in the air without moving. On the head of the KD Sanctuary Shenzi Kaoj, a bullet hole gradually began to ooze blood. A few seconds later, the heavy body collapsed to the ground. One shot, lethal. Died. How is this possible? Fairy Li Yulai covered her small cherry mouth with an unbelievable expression on her face. While talking, she subconsciously took a breath of cold air, and her expression changed rapidly. You have already prepared. Why didn't you say it earlier? Let people be so worried just now. It's all your fault. You're already sure of winning. While talking, Fairy Liuli subconsciously stretched out her powder fist, and then beat Fang Fan's chest. This coquettish appearance seemed very real. Fang Fan let out a breath of foul breath silently, his eyes flickered, his thoughts gathered, and his face showed some size. The current Liuli fairy is completely different from before. In addition to the psychological hints and related changes given to her by the female slave system, what is more important is that she has devoted her true feelings to Fang Fan. Fang Fan could deeply feel that frown and smile. At this moment, for some unknown reason, Fang Fan suddenly felt guilty. This time, it seems that a young cabbage has really been harmed. It can only be said that Fairy Liuli is really too simple. In her mind, it seemed that the whole world had never been dirty in the slightest. The matter has come to this, we can only accept it. The third female slave position has been opened. The practitioners of the KD sanctuary in front of me are running away to death, and it's not a good idea. Fang Fan glanced around, then nodded silently and said, "Build a battlefield and collect school tokens. Look for opportunities and evacuate quickly. Go to a new area and attract more monsters. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier." Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2167. Fang Fan gave an order, and then hundreds of Genji Shen Zone practitioners who had been waiting for a long time rushed over. They were already able to clean the battlefield proficiently at this moment, and they had practiced more times. They can't intervene in the battle, but there is no problem in cleaning the battlefield. With the addition of these school tokens, the number of school tokens I own should exceed 100,000. Fang Fan exhaled, then thought to himself. Guangming Mountain Range Examination Order, because there have been examiners holding more than 100,000 school tokens, in order to increase the difficulty and fun of the assessment, we hereby add a real-time ranking list for the assessment. The leaderboard will appear at the top of the formation, and all examiners can see it at will. The next assessment continues. You still have 5 days. Please continue to grab the school tokens. Also know your ranking and status. Keep up the good work. There were familiar voices in my ears. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes silently. The voice sounded a bit like that of Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy. This also creates a leaderboard. Fang Fan frowned. Isn't this just to let everyone's school tokens be made public? Those examiners who have many school tokens will become the target of siege, and will become the target of public criticism. Fang Fan exhaled. This wave is indeed enough. Fang Fan raised his head, and in the sky above, a piece of golden paper suddenly appeared, and on the golden paper there were fonts shining with white light. School Token Leaderboard. First place, 101,342 pieces. Owner, Fang Fan. From the 3rd class Jingtian Sanctuary. Second place, 15,888 pieces. Owner, Gisha. From the 2nd class Fallen Sanctuary. Third place, 13,439 pieces. Owner, Fanming. Comes from Fanhai Palace, the 1st class Heavenly Sanctuary. Fourth place, 11,512 pieces. Owner, Duguayajian. Comes from the 1st class Heavenly Wave Sword Sect in the Sanctuary of the Firmament. Fifth place, 10,321 pieces. Owner, Zuokyo Taxu. From the 1st class Temple of the Light Alliance in the Sanctuary of the Firmament. Sixth place, 9,589 pieces. Owner, Xiahe Yunlong. From the Heaven and Earth Palace, the 1st class Heaven Sanctuary. Seventh place, 3,589 pieces. Owner, Zhao Xie. Comes from the 1st class Soul Race in the Sanctuary of the Sky. 100th place, 532 pieces. Owner, Sima Chen. From the 2nd class Sanctuary Tianhong Sanctuary. 1000th place, 78 pieces. Owner, Tianluo. From the second class Fallen Sanctuary. The 16,000th place, 10 pieces. The owner, Sun 11. Comes from the second class Bosch Sanctuary. The ranking is on the golden paper, and everything is clearly unfolded. The rest are actually within the normal range, but there is one thing that is really shocking. The first place, specially enlarged font, makes people feel extremely confused for no reason. This name is too unfamiliar. First place, 101,342 pieces. Owner, Fang Fan. From the third class Jingtian Sanctuary. Third class Sanctuary. It turns out that a third class sanctuary cultivator has jumped to the top of the school's token list. On the ranking list, among the top 100, there is no third class sanctuary at all. Even in the top 1000, you can barely see the existence of a few third class sanctuaries. But the first place, that has always been unique to the first class Firmament Sanctuary. Now that the assessors from the Fallen Sanctuary from the Dark Camp have been temporarily added, they are brave and good at fighting, and they may rank high. These are indeed possible, but the third class Jingtian Sanctuary is really confusing. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2168. At this moment, millions of examiners in the entire periphery of the Guangming Mountains are shocked by this. Fallen Sanctuary Examiner. Interesting, really interesting. Who Fang Yingjia is this Fang Fan, unexpectedly, can appear so strong? I ask myself that I have worked hard enough, and I have confiscated all the school tokens from the examiners in the Sanctuary of the Fallen World, and I can't do it to this extent. Guishat, the young master of the Fallen Palace in the Sanctuary of the Fallen World, squinted his eyes, and secretly fell into infinite contemplation. At this moment, he suddenly became very interested in Fang Fan. This time he came to participate in the assessment of Guangming Academy, he must take the first place. Only in this way can he demonstrate the strength of his Fallen Sanctuary and even Fallen Palace. In this way, when discussing mergers in the future, the price of their Fallen Sanctuary can be raised to a certain extent. This is the main premise. Guishat, the young master of the Fallen World Palace in the Sanctuary of the Fallen World, thought to himself, and a bloody look suddenly appeared in his eyes. The examiner of Fanhai Palace. Hateful. My Fanhai Palace is actually only ranked third. What are those in front of you? I, Fanhai Palace, am a top-notch, first-rank force in the first-class Heavenly Sanctuary. Third-class Jingtian Sanctuary? Fang Fan? How did this guy get so many school tokens? There must be something tricky in it. However, but this is an excellent opportunity for me. If I can seize this opportunity, I may not be able to stand up. A great opportunity is in front of you, but you must not give up just like that. At this moment, it becomes more critical. Find this Fang Fan and seize the 100,000 school tokens in his hands. As long as these school tokens are in my hands, then I must be the strongest. Yes, such a good opportunity, I must seize it. All cultivators in Fanhai Palace obey me. Search for the traces of this Fang Fan. If you find his traces, you will be rewarded. The eyes of Fan Ming, the son of Fanhai Palace, flickered and his mind was boiling. The so-called Gongzi is actually an abbreviation for the high-level and promising disciples in Fanhai Palace, similar to the existence of Shenzi in the temple. Tianlang Sword Sect. This is an excellent opportunity for my Tianlang Sword Sect to rise up, to find this Fang Fan, no matter what the price is. Heaven and Earth Palace. Find Fang Fan. Appreciate 1 billion star cores. All forces, large and small, are boiling over. They have only one goal at the moment, and that is to find Fang Fan. The 100,000 school tokens in Fang Fan's hands are really too greedy. Judging from the current ranking, the school tokens of all the examiners from the 2nd to the 10th place combined are not as many as Fang Fan. Interesting. These academic tokens can really help you become a college of Guangming Academy. 100,000, if you can keep it, you can even directly become the number 1 in this year's assessment of Guangming Academy. As soon as he thought of this, the greediness was gradually revealed. In order to seize the token of the school, they will naturally regard Fang Fan as a thorn in their flesh. The most important thing is that Fang Fan not only has enough school tokens in his hands, but also only comes from a third-class Jingtian sanctuary. This is even more intriguing. The third-class sanctuary, to these people, the first impression is that it is very poor and weak. So they felt that as long as they found Fang Fan, they would be successful immediately. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2169. Beyond the Guangming Mountains, on the viewing platform. Murong Yu, the third-rank red-clothed Archbishop of the first-class Guangming Alliance Temple and the first-class tutor of the Guangming Academy, seems quite nervous at the moment. At this moment, silently sucked in a breath of cold air, his eyes flickered and he didn't understand, all kinds of thoughts gathered in his mind, and his arms trembled unnaturally. 100,000, 100,000 school tokens. This guy, still likes to surprise people so much. No wonder he didn't want to when I persuaded him to give up the assessment. It turns out he was already prepared. It's just that I've been thinking too much. This mysterious guy, how many secrets I don't know about him. These secrets follow one another, one after another. Murong Yu muttered to herself. She found that she wanted to pay more and more attention to Fang Fan's activities now. I don't know when I started to worry about his existence gradually. Afraid of any accidents, and afraid of various changes. All in all, those detailed thinking patterns gathered in her mind, and suddenly filled her entire heart. It is indeed a good thing to have captured so many school tokens. It's just that the rankings of the school tokens are all out now. Rank number 1, but become the target of public criticism. In the examination field, cultivators from all major forces will definitely gather here, and then besiege him. At that time, he will be in danger. If you crush the distress order in time, that's fine, at least you can save your life. But if he is too stubborn, it will definitely be a bloodbath. Murong Yu's eyes could not help showing a nervous look. Thinking like this in my heart this time, various ideas suddenly gathered in my mind. Even if there are thousands of worries now, they can only be silent here. She is not yet strong enough to influence the rules of the upper echelons of Guangming Academy. If you die, I will definitely avenge you. Murong Yu gritted his teeth and muttered in his heart. At this moment, on the viewing platform, part of the exciting scenes of the examination field can be clearly displayed. Fang Fan, as the number 1 in the school's token ranking, naturally bears the brunt of it. Looking through the mirror of the magic circle, Fang Fan at this moment is holding a young woman in a plain white robe, looking very happy. This guy. At this time, don't forget to pick up girls. Little bastard. Murong Yu spat in secret, feeling a little stingy in his heart. The examination site outside the Guangming Mountains. Well. It seems that there will be a large number of small treasury rushing over soon. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, which could be seen by all the examiners in the entire assessment field of the school's token ranking list. It can almost be predicted that Fang Fan from the third-class Jingtian Sanctuary will definitely be regarded as a thorn in the flesh. The 100,000 school tokens in his hands have become the driving force for everyone to chase after him. Fang Fan, let's hide quickly. If cultivators from all major forces gather here, what shall we do? Those powerful cultivators are not something we can fight against. Especially those local forces in the sanctuary of the firmament. Fang Fan, I don't want anything to happen to you. It's all my fault, it's all my fault. If I hadn't been here, you definitely wouldn't have come over and wiped out the practitioners in KD Sanctuary, so you wouldn't have 100,000 school tokens so quickly, and you wouldn't have to be in so much danger. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2170. While talking, Fairy Liuli felt more and more that she had dragged Fang Fan down, and felt more and more wronged at this moment. Listening to Liuli Fairy's magical brain circuit, Fang Fan couldn't help twitching the corners of his mouth. This silly woman, is really enough. Wave after wave, what are they talking about? What does it have to do with you? Even without this battle, I can accumulate enough 100,000 school tokens within an hour. This is just a routine of Guangming Academy. It just wants to stimulate the battle between us. For me, this is not a danger, but an opportunity. At first, I thought about going around to attract monsters with blood, and then increase the number of school tokens in my hand, but it seems that I don't need it now. Just stay here quietly. At that time, they will come to your door like silly roe deer. At that time, we can kill them one by one here. That's a great idea. While talking, Fang Fan nodded silently, the light in his eyes flickered, and his smile remained the same. Extremely comfortable. Fang Fan, what do you mean, you don't want to fight against all the forces, do you? That's more than 1,000,000. Too dangerous. I don't allow you to take risks. You have me now. While talking, Fairy Liuli's face became blushed. While speaking, her soft little hands tightly held Fang Fan's hand, as if she was afraid that Fang Fan would run away. Listening to Liuli Fairy's coquettish words is also an extremely wonderful enjoyment. Fang Fan found himself getting more and more depraved recently. Dao heart is unstable. Start to get distracted at every turn. Outside the examination field. It really is a charming little fox. On the surface, she looks soft and weak, but she is actually so charming in her bones. In addition, that little bastard is not a strong-willed person at all, I'm afraid he has already sunk into it. Humph. Little bastard. When you come back, I must toss you well, lest you go outside every day to hook up with those little vixens. Murong Yu bit her red lips, feeling very uncomfortable for some reason. Looking at such a picture, a heavy sense of awkwardness will arise in my heart. At this moment, other cultivators on the surrounding viewing platforms began to talk about each other. This young man is so arrogant. He actually wants to wipe out all the examiners. Hee. Newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. I understand. No matter how strong he is not even a star behind compared with more than 1,000,000 examiners from major forces. Since this Fang Fan was able to accumulate 100,000 school tokens in just 2 days, I'm afraid he is not a good stubble. So you think he can break the game? Now he is roasted in the fire. Not to mention that he is from the 3rd-class sanctuary, even if he is the 1st-class power of the Heaven Sanctuary, the ordinary 1st-rank forces may not be able to bear it so much pressure. Hey! Looking at the picture displayed by the magic circle mirror, many cultivators are already looking for Fang Fan's traces. Once his traces are exposed, I'm afraid it will be a full-scale siege. That scene must be extremely bloody. By that time, those school tokens you have will be deadly poison.